Ryan ordered Jack to kill him. So, and of course used the "would you kindly" prompt to command Jack to kill him. If Ryan ordered Jack to kill him, and Jack obliges, then then Jack is not being a man in Ryan's view. He's being a slave. You know, a man chooses, a slave obeys. Well, Jack is sure as hell not choosing to kill Ryan. He's obeying the order to kill Ryan, and is therefore a slave. So, based upon what I've heard of the ending, sorry, not the ending. Ryan's death. It doesn't really make sense. Say, I think it probably would have been better if I don't know if say Ryan were to command his son, Jack, to kill him, but Jack were to somehow refuse, and instead Ryan were to kill himself rather than have Jack do it. I think that would have made more sense in that. Jack would have been. He would not have been a slave. He would, in Ryan's opinion, he would have been a man.
I actually really like the scene when you first meet Ryan and he tells you to run and stop, and you have no control over the controller. You're just doing it. When you beat him with the golf club, when he says a man chooses, a slave obeys, I think Ryan knew that one way or the other he was going to die, but he wanted to die with being in control. He wanted to order someone else to kill him, not sort of be sort of a coward and do it himself. So in the end, in his death, he won because Ryan remained a man while Jack remained a slave. So
that makes sense.
I'm sorry, but I don't really understand why you would think that he would want to kill himself, because in a way, in killing himself, he is both a man and a slave, because he is telling himself to do something and he's obeying himself in obeying it, in following through with his own orders.
This isn't necessarily what I think. I'm just going by what I've read. It was a good scene.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But if what a lot of people have said on YouTube and elsewhere is true, then I don't think Ryan's death really works. But your explanation is a lot better. I think it does actually work a lot better.
I've always wondered if Ryan. Well, actually, I assume that Ryan never really used plasmids because he's more or less insane. But that being, the leader of a derelict, crumbling city would probably drive someone insane. But he, as far as we can see, doesn't have any sort of sores that show that he might be a plasmid user. So I'm wondering why he doesn't really use, I guess, why doesn't he use his own product if that had any sort of importance in the game? Then I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't think it. And again, this might be, I might not have noticed it, but I actually didn't think that plasmids were his product. Say, it was more Fontaine who pioneered the plasmid technology. Fontaine was Ryan's adversary. I think it was only until fairly late that Ryan took over this industry for himself. But I didn't really give Ryan's lack of plasmid use any thought. But actually, there was something I didn't get about Fontaine's use of plasmids. Say, I think we do learn but he tells us toward the very end of the game that he never spliced up once in all the years he's lived in Rapture. He's never used plasmids. But if that's the case, how is he able to lift up? Once you reach wherever is Point Prometheus, wherever, you're standing in the diving bell and you see Fontaine picking up this enormous metal structure. If he's never used plasmids, how is he able to do that? That doesn't really make sense.
Well, I guess he just gave himself so much that he was able to do something like that. Do you mean because he's never done it before, he has no experience in using it?
Well, he's shown lifting up that enormous metal thing before he contacts you and tells you about the huge number of plasmids he's used. Before you get that message, he never used plasmids before. But if that's the case, then how is he able to lift up that huge that huge structure before he's used any plasmids?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that didn't really make sense. Never mind.
I do have a lot to say about the fight with Fontaine. Sure, I'll just go ahead. Well, actually, no. But before that, when you put the Big Daddy suit on, you escort the little sisters around and so on.
Yeah, I think I know where you're going with this. Go on.
Okay. You Tenenbaum says that you're not going to be able to take on Fontaine just on your own. You're going to have to be a big daddy to make yourself more powerful. So you go and collect all the stuff. Yet again, another person telling you to go collect things, which is basically 98% of the entire game. But when you are a big daddy and you're about to go challenge Fontaine, I noticed that when you're actually fighting him, you have the suit off. So did Tenenbaum just say you have to be a big daddy to fight Fontaine? Then you go get the suit, go to Fontaine, and then take it off and then fight him?
I thought exactly the same thing. Wasn't sure why. If you got the advantage of, say, 25% damage resistance, you're not gonna take off that suit during the final bout with Fontaine. While we're on that fight, I thought it was. This will probably encapsulate my thoughts on Bioshock as a whole, but the final fight with Fontaine, it was exciting. It was fast-paced, frenetic, and the environments were stunningly rendered, like everywhere else, and very disquieting to look at. A lot of machinery and stagnant water. So it was overall very exciting, but too easy. That's how I feel about the fight with Fontaine and the whole game.
I don't. Well, at its core, I don't like the Fontaine fight at all. But I also found it kind of odd how Fontaine is able to beef himself up with so many plasmids that he basically rips like his shirt apart, I assume, and just becomes this sort of big glowing blue Dr. Manhattan god. But like all the other splicers, is still literate and articulate. But not only that, although I was playing on easy difficulty, I was able to get the crossbow, which I didn't upgrade the crossbow at all. And I was able to shoot him about 5 times. Then he teleported back to the atom pumpy thing. And then and then he just comes back, tries to hit you a few times, fails, and then goes back to the thing.
Yeah.
You think that he would learn from his mistake, thinking that, okay, you've sucked the atom out of me 3 times, maybe I won't go up on that thing and stand perfectly still and let you do it. It just becomes a boring rhythm.
Yeah.